in Mago Reddit. Today's story is
My sister-in-law ruined my graduation party with horrible lies when she gathered us 2 months later for a, quote, special announcement. Nobody imagined what would happen. I am a 22-year-old young woman who recently graduated from university with outstanding grades. Although it may sound presumptuous to mention it, I worked very hard to achieve them, and now I am proud of my academic achievements. My parents organized a party to celebrate my graduation earlier this week. Everything was going perfectly until Melanie, my 28-year-old sister-in-law, decided to ruin the celebration by spreading nasty rumors about me. To put the situation in context, Melanie is married to Son, my 29-year-old older brother. They got married 4 years ago, and since then, the family relationship has deteriorated considerably as he has completely changed. If Melanie acted this way, it's because we've never had a friendly relationship. She is extremely jealous of Son, but also of anyone who receives attention. And when that person is me, it's like lighting the fuse that makes Melanie explode. When I was accepted to this university 4 years ago, my parents were thrilled because it was my first choice. They organized a small celebration to commemorate this achievement. During that gathering, Melanie suddenly announced that she and Son were trying to have a baby. She couldn't allow me to have a single day of attention. My parents were also happy about her news, but they were aware of Melanie's intentions. Over the years, whenever there was a celebration for me, be it a birthday, academic achievement, or anything else, Melanie always had something to say. She would either create drama or make an important announcement. On one occasion, during my birthday dinner, she started crying because she hadn't managed to get pregnant yet. Another time, when I managed to get on the dean's list, she announced that they would start an in vitro fertilization process. She constantly turned everything into something related to her. I already mentioned it, but I want to emphasize it to make it clear, considering what I will share later. During college, I worked extraordinarily hard. I wasn't a brilliant student in high school, just average, but in college I was determined to stand out because I really enjoyed what I studied. I spent countless nights studying, researching, and working on projects. Mr. Briggs, my senior year professor, was very special to me because he constantly helped me improve. He is one of the most respected professors in our department. He has been teaching for 15 years and has helped numerous students achieve their goals because he is not one of those professors who simply teach, but rather he cares about students having ambition, striving, and developing their full potential. He is happily married with 2 children, and his wife frequently visits our part of campus for various events. He became my mentor and thesis advisor. He guided me through academically difficult times, when I was exhausted from so much effort, and helped me understand complex topics, taking the time to explain them to me personally during his office hours. Our relationship was strictly professional and mentoring. At my graduation party yesterday, everything started off well. My parents had invited family members, family friends, and some of my university classmates. They had organized everything beautifully: good food, elegant decorations, and a small ceremony where they wanted to give a speech about my academic career. My parents are a bit sentimental, but I didn't mind because I was happy. About an hour into the party, my aunt took me aside. She seemed worried and informed me that Melanie had been going around the party telling various guests that I had only obtained good grades because I had an inappropriate relationship with Mr. Briggs. My aunt told me that Melanie had been spreading this rumor for the last hour, explaining to everyone how I used to frequently visit his office and stay late. I did visit his office frequently, but that was because he was my thesis advisor. Many other students did the same. I was not the only one who received help from this professor. I stayed late because I was working on important research projects. We had very strict deadlines, and sometimes the work went on until the wee hours. But Melanie distorted everything to make it seem inappropriate. My aunt told me that Melanie had been very specific in her gossip. She told people how I dressed smartly when I went to university, something I always did professionally. She mentioned how I talked about Mr. Briggs and his guidance because he was my mentor and helped me considerably. She even pointed out how my grades improved dramatically in college compared to high school because I really tried hard. I immediately informed my parents. They were furious. My mother went to talk to Melanie and my brother, telling her that her behavior towards me was terrible. Melanie tried to act innocent at first, saying that she was only concerned about my reputation and that she was simply sharing her observations. When my mother insisted, Melanie replied that it was suspicious how much time she spent with Mr. Briggs and how my grades had improved so much. I couldn't bear it any longer. This day was supposed to be about me, celebrating my hard work and achievements. Instead, it became a gossip session about my integrity. All my hard work over the years, all those nights studying, researching, writing papers, meant nothing to Melanie. My excellent grades were the result of dedication and hard work. Mr. Briggs had been completely professional and helpful, not only to me but to many other students. I gathered my belongings and left the party. My parents understood my decision and supported me. That same night, several relatives called me to assure me that they did not believe Melanie's lies. They knew my character and how hard I had worked. They had witnessed my dedication over the years. Some family members suggested that I should file a complaint against Melanie for defamation, as this could affect both my reputation and that of Mr. Briggs. His wife works at the same university in a different department, and such rumors could cause problems for her family as well. But I decided to wait and see how my parents handled this situation with my brother first. This wasn't the first time Melanie had tried to ruin things for me, but it was definitely the worst. This time she crossed all the lines. I'm tired of pretending that everything is fine just to keep the family peace. I don't want to be around her anymore. She's toxic and manipulative. I feel sorry for my brother, even though he's caught between his wife and his family. But at this point, I don't care anymore. If he decides to support his wife after what she did, maybe I'll be better off without both of them in my life. Update 1. After the disaster at the party, my parents finally decided to talk to Son about Melanie. Not just about the party, but about her general behavior. They called him when Melanie was at work, hoping to have a quiet conversation about what happened at my graduation without her hearing. As I mentioned, they didn't just talk to him about what happened at the party, but also about other situations in which Melanie has been problematic. Situations that didn't directly involve me, but problems she's had with other family members. But instead of acknowledging Melanie's bad behavior, he defended her actions. He claimed that Melanie had valid reasons for saying what she said. He mentioned things that I never imagined my own brother would use against me, such as how he frequently mentioned Mr. Briggs in conversations, that he used to smile when talking about this teacher, something I don't do, and also things related to my grades. I was speechless. My brother, who had seen me studying until the early hours of the morning and had witnessed my dedication, should be the one with the most evidence that I achieved everything through my own efforts. That your own brother thinks so badly of you is really painful. My parents were also surprised and very angry with him. They had hoped that he would at least remain neutral, because she is his wife, but defending her and accusing me was not what they had anticipated. Mom tried to reason with him. She explained exactly the same things I have told here, but he didn't want to listen and kept insisting. He said that Melanie was only protecting the family reputation, because it would hurt everyone if people found out what I was doing. According to him, people had been commenting on how much time I was spending with Mr. Briggs, and Melanie was just expressing what others were thinking. She even had the nerve to suggest that perhaps I should have been more careful about the time I spent with a teacher, that it was not appropriate for a young student to be in a teacher's office so frequently. This made me furious. Was I supposed to reject the guidance of a teacher just because he was a man? Should I have limited my academic growth because of what people might think? Besides, no one at the party thought that, except for my brother and his wife. The rest have expressed their support for me throughout this whole affair, so I don't know who he is referring to. The conversation was becoming increasingly frustrating. Dad also tried to make him see reason, reminding him how he used to talk proudly about me before he married Melanie. He asked Son if he really thought his own sister would do something like this. Son's response was that people change at university, and maybe I had changed too. At that point, Mom started to cry. She said she couldn't believe that her son could think so badly of his own sister. She reminded him how Mr. and Mrs. Briggs were respected in academic circles, and that making jokes about this could have consequences for them. But Son didn't care, and thought that they and I deserved some kind of punishment. For my brother, even my parents should distance themselves from me before it was too late. What finally broke my patience was when Son said that if I was innocent, I wouldn't have left the party. According to him, my departure proved that Melanie's suspicions were correct. He completely ignored the fact that I left because I was hurt and humiliated by his wife's baseless accusations. Dad finally lost his patience. He told Son he was disappointed in him. He told him he had changed since marrying Melanie, and not for the better. He asked him not to contact us until he and Melanie were ready to apologize. But I don't think Son is ready to do that, because before hanging up he said we were all being unfair to Melanie. For my brother, she was already dealing with the stress of not being able to conceive, and now we were attacking her for something that wasn't her fault but mine. He said that I had always been favored over him and Melanie, and that this situation proved it. I feel like I've lost my brother. Before he married Melanie, we were very close. He always protected me, he was always proud of me and I of him, but Melanie has completely transformed him. She has turned him against his own family with her manipulative behavior. Some family members suggested that perhaps Melanie was acting this way because of her inability to conceive. Maybe the stress was affecting her mental health, but that doesn't justify trying to ruin someone's reputation. Many people face fertility problems, but they don't spread malicious rumors about others. For now, we have decided to keep our distance from both Son and Melanie. It hurts to lose my brother like this, but I can't have people in my life who don't trust me and try to damage my reputation. My parents support my decision, although I know it breaks their hearts to be estranged from their son. Update 2. 2 days ago, something completely unexpected happened. Melanie invited the whole family to dinner at her house. She called each one personally and insisted it was very important, even though relations had been strained since the incident at my graduation, and we hadn't spoken to them in 2 months. Mom and Dad decided to attend because Melanie sounded genuinely excited. Initially, I wasn't planning to go, but my parents convinced me because they believed they were finally willing to offer me an apology. I doubted it after so long, but I went anyway to support my parents. Our uncles, aunts, and grandparents were also invited. When we arrived, we saw that Melanie had prepared a big dinner. She was unusually kind to everyone, even me. She had decorated the house with balloons, and there was a cake on the table. We were all confused as to what the occasion was. After dinner, Melanie asked us to gather in the living room. She was beaming with excitement. She announced that she was finally pregnant after trying for 4 years. I expected us all to rejoice and start congratulating her, but instead of celebrating, Son got up, visibly furious. His face was red, and this news seemed to surprise him as much as us. He declared that it was impossible for her to be pregnant with his child. Apparently, Son had undergone tests a few weeks earlier and discovered that he was infertile. The doctor had confirmed that he could never be a father. He explained that after 4 years of trying without success, he began to suspect that something might be wrong with him. So without informing Melanie, he went to a fertility clinic and took the test. Apparently, Son was unaware of the reason for the dinner and thought it was an attempt by Melanie to reconcile with the family. Melanie turned pale. She began to stutter, trying to say that there must be some mistake in the test results, but Son would not allow her to continue with the charade. He asked her directly who the father was. Melanie continued to evade the question as best she could. But when Son mentioned that he had had the test done at 2 different clinics to be completely sure, she broke down in tears. In reality, she had only been to 1 clinic, but she said it to make her confess. Finally, Melanie admitted that she had been having a relationship with Tom, the husband of her best friend Samantha, for the last 6 months. We were all shocked. Samantha, who was also at the dinner, let out a scream and had to be held up by my brother. If you have been following my story, this was the same Melanie who had accused me of having an inappropriate relationship with my teacher, the same Melanie who had acted so righteous and moral, the same person who made my brother doubt the character of his own sister. But it turned out that she was the one having an extramarital affair, incredibly, and I almost missed the dinner because I thought nothing good would come of this. Son asked us all to leave because he needed to talk to Melanie alone. As we left, we could hear Melanie crying and begging Son to forgive her, saying that she never wanted this to happen. Samantha was being taken home by my parents because if they left her alone, who knows what she might do. She was also in no condition to drive after finding out about her husband's betrayal, who had not attended the dinner. I would feel terrible for my brother if the circumstances were different, if he hadn't defended his unfaithful wife and slandered me. He hurt me by believing Melanie's lies about me and Mr. Briggs, so I reckon he deserved this kind of betrayal. Mom wanted to stay and talk to him, but Dad said Son needed space at that moment to process everything. Later that night, Son called our parents. He was crying and apologizing for not believing them about Melanie. He said he had been blind to her true nature all these years. He also wanted to apologize to me, but I refused to talk to him because it's not as simple as attacking your sister and then apologizing when you need her. One day, I'm a person of questionable morals who has inappropriate relationships with her teacher, and the next day she asks for my forgiveness to get back something she lost. That doesn't work with me. This whole situation has affected the whole family. Our grandparents are devastated. They went from the excitement of having a great-grandchild to facing the infidelity of their granddaughter-in-law in a matter of seconds. Samantha's family is in crisis, and Son has discovered what it means to be married to someone like Melanie, capable of talking about her own sister-in-law like that. I know I should feel compassion for what she is going through now, but mainly I feel relieved that Melanie's true nature has been exposed. Not because my brother will finally open his eyes, but because he deserves this for trusting her. Maybe if Son had seen Melanie's true personality before, when she was spreading lies about me, things could have been different for him. It's not normal for your wife to say those things, just as it's not normal for her to cheat on you and have a child with another man. But if my brother didn't see the signs before, I can't feel sorry for him. Update 3. Son and Melanie's divorce was finalized some time ago. It didn't really take long because the very problem that caused the separation is what made it simpler. They have no children together. During this time, ironically, she has tried to contact our family several times, apologizing for everything, including the lies about me, but no one has even responded to her. Son moved in temporarily with a friend. He is still struggling to get over Melanie's betrayal. He has been having a very hard time, especially after finding out that Melanie had also lied about other things. Apparently, she had been taking money from their joint account to help Tom with his expenses. He has tried to apologize to me several times, saying that I should have believed his sister instead of his lying wife. But the time we met face to face, I told him that my brother died when he married Melanie. I'm not going to forgive him, and I hope he doesn't have that expectation. The other day, when he was at our parents' house, Son completely broke down. He told them how Melanie had always been jealous of my achievements from the day I was accepted into university. I know she talked to him about how our parents favored me. She distorted every situation to make it seem like I received special treatment. She had manipulated him so gradually that he didn't even realize when he began to doubt his own sister. Melanie's best friend Samantha divorced Tom after learning about the relationship. The baby was indeed Tom's, as confirmed by a paternity test. Both Tom and Melanie lost their jobs, but for different reasons. Tom because they had had inappropriate encounters in the office. He told his boss, and security cameras captured the two of them entering an office for a few minutes. Melanie, on the other hand, lost her job for different reasons. Karma is karma, no matter the cause. Melanie also tried to contact Samantha, but she refused to speak to her. They had been best friends since college, and Melanie betrayed her in the worst possible way. Samantha moved to another city to start over. Recently, I received an excellent job offer, partly thanks to Mr. Briggs' letter of recommendation. When I told him what happened at my graduation party, he was understanding and said that unfortunately such unfounded accusations are common in academia. Some relatives, although few, think that I should forgive Son, as he is suffering from Melanie's betrayal, but the betrayal of a partner and that of a brother are two very different things. And before concluding, I will respond to some comments. How are my parents' current relationship with Son? Neither of them has completely forgiven him, or at least they are not satisfied with him. This is more evident with my mother than with my father, although neither of them seem to like what he did to me. My mother believes that if the pregnancy hadn't happened, he probably never would have apologized to me. It's easy for him to apologize now that he sees that his social circle has shrunk after losing his wife, but that's the only reason. As for suing Melanie and my brother for defamation, it doesn't make much sense. Yes, I considered it for a while. Until I consulted a lawyer who explained to me that although we could file a lawsuit, there was no tangible damage, so the compensation would be practically nil. It was just comments at a private party that did not transcend to other areas. These types of lawsuits are brought when the defamation is public on a large scale and causes some specific damage. I was affected by my brother's behavior and by Melanie lying, but a judge wouldn't care about that emotional aspect. Update 4. I didn't think my story would have another update, and certainly not so soon. I thought that maybe in a few years I would have something new to tell. I would like to start by talking about my brother since everyone asks if I have forgiven him. I said I wouldn't, and I keep my word. My relationship with my parents is not very good either, because they have had some arguments. My brother wanted financial help to buy a flat because he didn't have much money left after the divorce. My parents refused, arguing that they had already helped him with his university education, and that was all they would do for him. He accused me again of being the favorite, and they have cut off communication with him. I don't know who is advising him, but nothing he says contributes to me ever being able to forgive him. I moved out a couple of months ago, and I haven't even considered asking my parents for money. They already helped me with college, just like they did with my brother, and now it's time for me to forge my own path. I've been asked if Melanie took the paternity test before or after the baby was born. I couldn't say for sure, but I found out after the birth, so probably at that time. And do you know what Melanie's proposal to my brother was? That he help her raise their child together. Tom is paying child support, and she wants my brother to move back in with her to raise the baby together. Melanie has come into some money, but she still needs to figure out where she will live, because staying at her parents' house is only temporary, and she needs to find another place soon. Melanie's parents have spoken to mine, and although they hate what has happened, she is still their daughter, and they have supported her so far. They have told her that she must find a job and move out as soon as possible. Melanie has used every possible negotiating tactic, telling Son that he wouldn't have to spend money on the child, as all the expenses would be covered by Tom. Son has replied that he would never return to her. He remains depressed and does not seem to be recovering anytime soon. He has received many blows recently. My theory is that time heals all wounds, but it has not been enough for him, or it is not taking effect yet. Should I feel sorry for him? Why am I not feeling anything for him at the moment?